Rhinotrax Construction. We founded ourselves based on a simple core ethic. Just going to do the right thing. That's how we're going to deliver the product to you. That's how we're going to treat ourselves. It's how we're going to treat our subcontractors, et cetera. If it's on the plans and we missed it, we own it. That's who we are. If it's not on the plans and you want it, that's an additional cost. We are not change order kings. We want to deliver good product to you. We work in the aerospace industry, transportation industry, distribution, manufacturing, higher ed, and office. So we kind of run the full breadth of product. Rhinotrax likes weird, unusual, funky projects. If you've got a project in a facility that's too small for the big boys, too complicated for most, as far as much smaller contractors, we are that contractor. We love logistically challenging projects. We've done projects, many huge win projects for us were not necessarily big dollar projects, but they were projects that really drove us to solving the problem for the client so that we can stay out of their way and they can continue to make money. That's what we do.
How many employees?
We on average, we're down now, but we're on average between 12 and 15. Okay. We've been there the whole time. We're down now a little bit because of COVID. There's some buildings that got shut down. And so we haven't been able to get back in. It's just now starting to get to the point where it's getting back to normal, but 12 to 15, it's perfect. I don't have big aspirations to increase, the amount of employees and or really the revenue, to be honest with you. We have a core group of clients that we love. They appreciate us. They get the value that we bring to them. And we're just in a really comfortable place. And we've been there for a long, long time. We've been there through the downs of 2008, 9, and 10. Rhinotrax doubled its volume during that time frame. We just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And we just maintain those relationships. My clients, our clients, they're friends. It's like, let's go have a beer together. Now, we're friends at a corporate level, right? We're not going to hang out every Friday night. But if, I fly to California on a deal, the director of construction out there, we're going to go get a beer and have lunch together. And that's just, that's the way I like doing business. Contracts are always in place. All of those legality things are always in place, but it's good to get conversational with your clients. They appreciate it.
I don't know about you, but I've missed doing that with our clients. I've missed getting together with them in person with clients. In fact, after this interview, Scott and I are actually driving down to Denver to have lunch with a client. And then Scott and I are probably going to do happy hour after. And I was telling him last night, I'm like, man, when's the last time we had beers together, like in person? Like it's been, we didn't even know. And so today I'm actually going to go out and see human beings and it's going to be great. So if you signed 2 new contracts that were huge, that required you to hire 10 more people, would you pass on it?
Nope.
You'd take it.
I'd take it. Absolutely.
You'd take it.
Absolutely. Just like if I had an opportunity, which we did, 2 or 3 years ago, I got a call from a client that said, hey, can you go to Arizona and do a separation in a manufacturing plant from the warehouse? Yep. Hang up the phone. I said, oh man, I got to get my license down there. I don't have insurance down there. But it's great client. And I said, absolutely, I'm going. And that's what took us to California. That's what took us to Washington State. So we will travel for the right client. And that's all a challenge. That's what keeps the business fresh. It's a different business model when you start to travel, right? When you stay home and you're local and you can touch everything. And I liked that for a long time, because if something happened, I could get there. I could get there in 2 hours and there's no problem that can't be solved, short of somebody being hurt. And knock on wood, right? We've always been super safe, but short of that, any problem can be solved. It's just time and money.
One of the things you've mentioned several times in this interview is I just say yes and then hang up the phone and figure it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you want to grow your business, I don't know if that quote is from Mark Cuban or I don't know, somebody famous has often said, look, if you're an entrepreneur, just say yes, hang up the phone, figure it out.
Absolutely.
Figure it out. If you want
you got to have smart people, right? So if you're an entrepreneur and you start a business, you better have the best banker, best insurance agent, in my case, the best bonding agent, and the best attorney. because you hope you never need some of those people. But if you need them, they have to be in your arsenal, and they've got to know who you are. So I've given lots of talks about, small business and, really what's the key, and financing is a big deal, right? And so you better have the best bank, and they better know who you are, because when times are bad, the ones who they know, those are the first conversations that they're having. And PPP is a prime example. We applied for PPP on a Monday. We had the loan on a Tuesday. The money was in the bank on Thursday.
Nice.
If I didn't know my banker, I'm probably not going to have that opportunity to have that quick transaction. And so I think that's critical. You just have to have a good team.
You've mentioned the importance of relationships several times during this interview. It really is critical. So many people kind of miss that. They're super smart, so maybe they're the super high IQ, or they invented a product or whatever. That's all great, but if you don't have the people skills to manage relationships, it's probably going nowhere for you.
I 100% agree. Every business transaction in my type of business is all about the relationship. Do they trust you? Do they like you? Do they think they want to work with you for however long this project is going to be? And so if you create an environment where you're truly wanting to know that person. Now, do I love every single person that we work with all the time? No. Can we get through any deal? Absolutely. Because I truly believe, even with somebody that's oppositional on the other side, there's no problem that can't be solved. There's no problem that can't be solved. And so people that get involved in big litigation and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, surely there's a way to solve this problem. And I'm forever the optimist. I'm always an optimist. It's easier to live my life that way. I'm a realist, but I'm also very much an optimist.
Is your personality from your dad's style or your mom's? I'm just curious.
My dad.
Yeah, okay.
My dad. My mom is extremely, and I would say painfully shy. Doing this exchange, it would tear her up for weeks in advance, and during it, she probably may not get through it. But my dad is, he's a super hard worker. Like I said, he's 82, he's still working. He just to get up, get it done, tell people what you're going to do, and do what you say. And that's how I was raised. And that's the way I run the company. We're not going to not deliver on a promise. And if I made a promise, and my staff is the same way. So that's another thing that kind of keeps us a little smaller. It's hard to find those folks that walk to the beat of the same drum.
Right.
You can find super duper smart people, but you have to believe it. You have to feel it in your core, and you can't just do it at work. So if you are authentically that way in your personal life, then it's easy to be that way in business, because it's just who you are. So when you have somebody that flip-flops like that, they probably are not a good match for Rhinotrax, because we just want to do a good job. We want to do a good job. We want to make our clients happy, and we want to make money. I mean,
isn't it interesting? When we started our recruiting firm, we have a few special things we do that are a little bit different than other recruiting firms, but really it's, we're all placing talent, right? Yeah. And one of the things we say all the time is just do a good job. Just do what you said you were going to do, deliver on time, communicate well. Like, it's not rocket science.
It's not. You're correct. Even in what we're doing, I often tell interview candidates, I said, look, what we do for a living, we are not curing cancer. We're just building stuff, right? Now, it's complicated. There's lots of parts and pieces. There's lots of outside influence with, municipalities and subcontractors and suppliers and such. But at the end of the day, it's one step at a time. So we kind of have we adopted, formalized sort of our code of ethics from a book that was written by James Owen, and it was Cowboy Ethics. And if you haven't had a chance to read the book, it's fantastic. And it's a short read, and it's beautifully illustrated. And we actually have it up on the wall in our office. So anybody who comes in to interview for Rhinotrax or whatever looks at the wall and says, that's who it is. And it's things like, do what you say you're going to do, never break a promise, ride for the brand, all of those things. And if you do that for your family and you do that in your work life, I think life's a whole lot easier.
If you think today's tip or guest interview can help someone please share this with them. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. The Riderflex Podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there. as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviewing. You can visit riderflex.com to learn more about us and get information and pricing on the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Thanks so much for listening and have a great day.